What's up, guys? Welcome back to the 11th SLTV Pro Series. This is going to be best of 3 between London Conspiracy and Duza Gaming. Only 15 minutes late, which is not, that's not too good, but who knows? We're in the game now, and that is all that matters here on HeflaTV 1. We're going to be bringing you this game and another best of 3 following. I'm Mike Laura, Scott Coucher here as well. Man, it is some wait. Hopefully this game would go out without any more delays, but usually you don't take this long for a second ban if you're LC.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure how much they have actually played up against Duza, because at least in tournaments I'm not too sure if they have, at least not that have gotten wide coverage from anything. So all I know is that London Conspiracy have been looking pretty damn strong. Duza Gaming, of course, kind of wiped the floor with House of Gamers, I do believe, as well in the semi-final. So, or the upper bracket semi-final to be more exact. So I don't know, both teams looking good, but London Conspiracy here with their full 5 versus Duza. I'm not too sure if the stand-ins have been like long-time members, just haven't gotten the proper naming done, or do you have any more insight into that?
Man, I have no idea. The last guy came awfully late and they were kind of in a rush, so might be a real guy, but I'm just going to assume that they have 2 stand-ins. And these 2 stand-ins, I don't think I've seen them before. If I recall correctly, the Duza House of Gamers games were just full of stand-ins, and the teams weren't playing that well, but what I've seen of London Conspiracy, as you said, they've been doing pretty well recently, and though there is not that much information on these 2 teams going up against each other directly, I could assume that probably they had a couple of meetings in the past. They seem to be, in general, at the same skill level, but we have ourselves a draft right now. The ban's looking fairly normal, Juggernaut being banned out. Not quite sure if he's powerful enough to be first ban worthy, although a lot of people will probably disagree with me there. Ancient Apparition Wraith King being met by Viper and Lycan.
Radiant team ban.
Man, what a start from LC there. They kind of show their cards. I mean, starting with 2 cores like that. For Duza though, it might be a core and support, maybe both supports, who the hell knows. I guess it's not unheard of that Ancient Apparition is even a core, but unfortunately it's way too uncommon these days. But for LC, having the Lycan, are we going to see some more push, or is it just going to be the Lycan and then going for like some team fight oriented lineup more like?
Well, I don't think London Conspiracy, or they might have some sort of idea of where they want to go with this Lycan, but as you said, up against the supports Wraith King and Ancient Apparition, those 2 heroes aren't that good versus Lycan. Like, maybe early on you'll be able to kill them off with, you know, the Cold Feet, Wraith Fire Blast, Chilling Touch damage combination there, but when it actually gets to a stage where Lycan wants to be running around in wolf form killing things, Ancient Apparition can't do anything about that. Wraith King has 1 stun, which is going to slow down Lycan, but it's sure as hell not going to stop him, so I think it's mostly London Conspiracy grabbing a hero that's good against the potential supports from Duza. And if they do want to go for extra pushing, then they already have a Viper, who's pretty good at taking down towers, so it could be a full-on pushing lineup for LC, but Broodmother, Tidehunter being banned out, the Brood going to make it so that you don't have that ridiculous Howl plus Spiderling combination, as if Spiderlings weren't good enough. And we have Invoker Void being taken out on the other end.
10 seconds.
The Brood definitely, like I said, man, the Spiderling Howl combination would have been so annoying to deal with. Not only would your buildings go down, also just a support gets surrounded by Spiderlings and you're just dead, you can't do anything at all. So nice ban there. Tidehunter also, if you're going for like any kind of push, having the team fight to back it up. So let's say Duza want to fight and defend the tower, suddenly there's a Ravage under the tower and, well, you're gonna get wrecked and lose a tower, so... But for Duza, with the next pick we might find out if the Wraith King will be the supporter core here. Faceless Void though, not an option for them anymore. Do you still, if you go for like a Wraith King core, do you still go for something like the Witch Doctor maybe? But never mind, gonna be a Nerve instead. A pretty good hero against Lycan, who usually has multiple units, the Wolves as well as Necrobook, so... It's a decent pick, just solid stun as well, nice roaming coming out early on, but Wraith King core against Viper, man, I'm not too sure how smart that is.
Wraith King core versus everyone. I'm generally just not a fan of the core Wraith King anymore. He has so many problems, and though he does have a couple of supports that will help keep him in range of his enemies, you can't always depend on those supports to be doing that job perfectly. You know, assuming he gets okay farm, he will be able to do something. Like if he gets a Blink Dagger, then he can mitigate a lot of those differences just by himself. But now, like LC, they grab a Vengeful Spirit. one of the more powerful support heroes in the game, especially up against a Wraith King who is very slow and is not that good at sticking to his targets. A swap out on someone who is probably already going to survive the Wraith King, Lycan or Viper, means that Wraith King is really going to struggle. So it's going to be going down to the lanes of Duza to really get some power going. And when you have a Wraith King AA Earthshaker lane, that is a pretty powerful lane. And I think if they really, or if they didn't want the Shaker, that you could have gone for the Witch Doctor, as you said before, and that would have been just as good, if not better. But it's a dangerous lane for Duza, and LC, they are going to try to prepare for it with the Abaddon. They are going to be protecting their carries like no other.
I mean, Abaddon actually is becoming more popular as well. The 40 shield is just so damn great, especially if Rayfire Blast comes out. The one thing that the Abaddon player has to be a little bit mindful of course, is not a 40 shield before the stun. Of course, it's going to be nice to mitigate the damage and everything, but you really usually have the 40 shield to get rid of the stun rather than just block the damage from it. So we'll see if he's going to kind of panic, maybe put them on too early or what, but definitely with Viper already being as tanky as he is and Abaddon backing them up, I mean, Duza probably not going to have a just easy time. And also, although the Mist Coil won't do anything if you're Ice Blasted, the 40 shield will still just stop the damage from coming in.
And that's sometimes all you need to get one more shield off. It is going to be hard for the Abaddon to actually get those shields to land correctly. I mean, you could block a Fissure Stun, which is probably going to be the first stun thrown, or you block the Wraithfire Blast as far as the stun duration is concerned, but you will probably get hit by one of those, and you can't really protect your allies against all of it. But it's a fairly defensive duo of supports for London Conspiracy. Shaker, Ancient Apparition, they do have power enough. They really want to play aggressively roaming, then they can move around. But ooh, a Witch Doctor. Okay, so I guess that really answers the question from before, but is this going to put Shaker over towards a core role? I'm inclined to think Razor, Shaker, and Wraith King are going to take up those, but Shaker as a core, I'm even a less fan of, especially when he's possibly up against Lycan or Viper in lane. That's not good times.
Yeah, the only real positive is that it's going to mean a fast blink dagger, but how the hell are they going to lane this?
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, I guess Razor mid is probably the best, especially against a Viper, but
dual lanes seem okay.
So is it like Earthshaker, Witch Doctor safe, or maybe the other way around? I guess Earthshaker, Ancient Apparition safe, and Witch Doctor, Wraith King offlane then?
You would probably just want to put the Witch Doctor with the Wraith King at the very least, and then do anything else with anyone else. But London Conspiracy, they're going to grab a Bristleback. When you do grab a Shaker core, generally there is a problem in that you lack sustained damage output. You are able to jump in there with your extra levels. You'll be able to hit someone really hard once, but then as far as killing the next guy and the next guy, teams generally tend to fall short. That's where Razor and Wraith King really come in. Bristleback is a hero that is designed to survive that initial burst and then go to town. So it's not really the most common hero, Bristleback, but you know what? I really like it, especially when you partner him up with Abaddon and Vengeful Spirit. He could just do whatever the hell he wants. They have a little bit of minus armor going on here, so taking down Roshan, taking down the softer heroes of Duza, it's, I think, looking pretty good for London Conspiracy. I don't really know about this potential Shaker core, Wraith King core thing going on here.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and for LC, Bristleback can be the one building the pipe if need be, or it can be the Viper as well. Pipe, I think, will be a pretty decent item against Earthshaker, Ancient Apparition as well. I don't know, man. I just kind of have to say I really like LC's lineup against what Duza has. Maybe Duza can surprise us and actually make core Earthshaker, if it's going to be a core Earthshaker. Not 100% sure yet, although most likely will be. But like I said, it's really just lacking the sustained damage, at least for that particular hero.
And their sustained damage, at least for Wraith King, is not going to come out for a very long time. You compare him to someone like Viper, and well, Viper just gets going from level 1 and he pretty much doesn't stop. Razor is going to be most of the right-click damage from the Duza side for a great portion of the game, but LC, they have heroes that are powerful enough just to man-fight the Razor, or mobile enough so that they could, engage the Razor, wait till the link is actually there, and then back off, whether just by max movement speed of the Lycan or by a swap of the Vengeful Spirit. The Razor needs to get that to connect, the static link, and if it doesn't, then Duza, they're just completely out of damage, and you need a lot of damage if you're going to deal with a Lycan and a Bristleback, not to mention Lycan and Bristleback that are being, Lycan, Bristleback, and Viper that are all being backed up by an Abaddon. So Duza, I think they might be running into a shortage of damage. They could maybe mitigate this by hitting a fast level 6 on Ancient Apparition or grabbing an early couple points in Maledict, but if they don't do that, then it's going to be really problematic for them to deal with these tanky heroes of LC.
Yeah, you already mentioned what I was about to as well. Just the early level 6, I think, kind of needs to come out for Captain Love's Ancient Apparition. Maybe if they're lucky enough, Witch Doctor has it F4 at the same time as well. But to introduce the lineups, for the side of Duza, Limbo will be playing the Witch Doctor with Earthshaker on, or well played by Lolik rather. Captain Love playing the Ancient Apparition as already mentioned. Manager is on the Brave King. No idea if it's actually their manager maybe, but Oleg will be on the Razor as the last one for them.
No, and we're going to have a head-to-head fight, it looks like. LC, they only have 4 heroes here, whereas Duza, they can assemble all 5, and really, they shouldn't be looking for a fight versus Ancient Apparition, London Conspiracy. That is a bad idea, and it looks like they will back off. So, people on London Conspiracy, we got Madra playing the Viper. Spartan is going to be on the Abaddon supporting, as is Skanks on the Vengeful Spirit. Keezer looks like he's going towards the mid lane as the Lycan, then Relax is going to be playing the Bristleback up towards top. So, it's an offensive tri-lane here from LC. This is very much so a lane that's revolving around the Viper. It's all about getting the Viper what he wants, especially when you have an Abaddon offensive tri-lane. That generally tends to be the case. They're going to start a fight immediately. There's the Wraithfire Blast being met by a Magic Missile. Manager slowed down by 1 point in this slow of Viper, plus the Howl damage. It's not that much slow. It's only 30 movement speed difference, but it is enough for the Viper to keep up. No boots first here, but they might get enough damage anyway. Poison attack won't quite do it, and Manager looks like he will peel away and will barely survive at double digits of HP. Very low double digits of HP, but LC starting this lane off with a show of force. I mean, they just said, this is what we could do, so you better back the hell up.
Well, at least LC had to spend quite a lot of mana. Spartan has a clarity. Looks like Madara will be going for a straight off Ring of Pazzi as well. And in a tri-lane like this, when you kind of rely on spells to actually get kills and be aggressive, then definitely nice to have the mana regeneration. Also, a little bit of extra armor to go for the dives. In the top lane though, Oleg will be playing up against Bristleback. Just Razor against most melee heroes with Static Link. Just excellent lane, of course. Mid lane, Lycan. At least he won't have to deal with the Razor, but I don't think Bristleback will be too happy about the laning situation here.
Yeah, Relax is already out of mana, so as far as harassing back the Razor with Quill Spray, not really going to be happening, especially with the Ring of Protection already up there. Bottom lane, we have another attempt at Skank's life. That's not really going to get anywhere. Spartan now is actually going to get stunned up. Cask is going to bounce here. Manager's stunned, but it's not going to help Spartan. A couple more hits, and that's going to be first blood, drawn by the Witch Doctor. Manager's still taking quite a bit of damage, but the Viper doesn't really want to sustain this fight out, especially up against 3 heroes. Actually, does he? Because he's going to get some support from the Abaddon. Skanks does not have another Magic Missile here. This is still only level 1 poison attack. If this was level 2, this would be so much easier. Turn around for the stun, which will once again bounce to Spartan. Marge's going to get stunned up. No shield to buff that out. That's going to be 2 kills for the Witch Doctor down this bottom lane. And LC not respecting this range damage of Duza. I mean, we said that they would have a damage problem later on, but when you're level 1 and when you have 2 ranged heroes on your side and when one of them's Ancient Apparition, you're going to do A-okay against LC, who really only have Viper, who has Viper as their right-clicker.
Yeah, and Spartan, of course, this early on, or well, he was level 1 at the time, so he didn't even have Mist Coil. Captain Love taking some harassment with Abaddon by himself really ain't that big of a threat. So I don't know, just LC, like I said, I think it wasn't maybe so much as underestimating Duza, just overestimating the Abaddon's power, because he was only level 1, maybe they're used to just having Abaddon, having the Aphotic Shield and Mist Coil both maxed, something like that. So, kind of a horrible start, especially for an aggressive tri-lane.
And this is already a tri-lane that is probably not too favored to do well versus what Duza have. I mean, Duza, they have kill potential here, and if need be, they have super defensive potential there as well. Just, we've seen the Cask already do work twice, and that's a lot more than you see from a level 1 Cask ordinarily. Being able to get 2 people stunned with that skill is fantastic, and, well, if you're the Abaddon, you could only protect one of your allies, and you're sure as hell, you really don't want to shield the Vengeful Spirit. You might, if you need to, but you should hold the shield for the Viper whenever you can, and that just means that you're at the mercy of the Cask every single other bounce. But it's a bad start for LC. Doesn't look like it's going to get any better, especially once the levels come up on Duza, but we'll see if they can make that happen. Over towards the mid lane, Keezer's going up against Lolik. Right now he has a slight advantage in this lane. Shaker gonna go for the very much so standard mid Shaker build in the Enchant Totem, but the Lycan's gonna be just fine. He has enough power to stay in lane, or if he really gets pushed out for whatever reason, then he could jungle with the blade and the stout shield that he already has.
Yeah, it's pretty much the lane that's going the worst, I guess. Of course, the aggressive tri-lane from LC is pretty bad to begin with, but The top lane as well, Relax at the moment, 19 and 4. Or well, rather, he himself is 7 and 4 up against a 19 and 4. So Razor just, as to be expected, lane dominance there.
And that's not looking too good for LC, although if they do want to take this into the late game, having a Viper Bristleback and a Lycan, you can do some pretty good work there, although it is more the mid-game area where they want to be hitting their stride with a big Bristleback, but that Bristleback really isn't going to be getting big anytime soon. I guess, to be fair, we usually see Bristleback getting absolutely nothing. They get zoned out, they get killed a couple of times, and they don't really get that much done. He's at the very least getting levels up, and once you have Warpath and maybe 1 point in Goop, Bristleback, if he really needs to, he could go down to this bottom lane and just stick onto some of these supports, or even the Wraith King, and do a lot of sustained damage. Right now, LC, they don't have a good answer to this Razor, and I don't really think, unless they want to make a huge, drastic lane switch, that they will ever have a good answer to this Razor.
Yeah, it's probably true as well. Razor, that's exactly why he used to be that strong, just because his lane presence is always going to be good, but mid lane Invis, never mind, Lolik. Maybe if he had Echo Slam, could have gone for Kaiser with the entire creeper being there. But not level 6 yet, so nothing will come of this. And all in all, apart from the 2 early kills, haven't seen much of anything happen. Relax top lane does some damage to Oleg, but has to escape just as the static link comes out. Although the quill spells, he might even keep on going. Magic Stick to the rescue for the Razor.
Gank is going to get double stunned. He's going to get healed up and shielded by Spartan, but still taking a lot of damage. Limbo this time taking more damage from the Razor, from the Viper. This might be a kill for LC, and it will be. Now they're going to turn around for Manager. Spartan is rather tanky, has a shield, will get it up right before he dies. Can they kill off Manager? They will, but that's with the explosion of the shield. Viper, though, still alive, still with enough mana to chase down Captain Love. It looks like it might be close. Teleportation coming in, stun from Limbo. Captain Love's going to survive. Madra held up in the stun, and actually here comes the Wraith King. If they could land a Wraithfire Blast here, this could be a turnaround, but no, it's slow TP because Witch Doctor has already arrived. Makes it a 2-for-2 trade down in this bottom lane. Sure as hell is a lot better than the previous engagements for LC, but they need to do a little bit better. So far, this offensive tri-lane is a failure.
Oh, it most certainly is, and well, at least they have the Viper alive during all of it, so he got some pretty nice levels. If he gets level 6, suddenly getting kills is going to be a hell of a lot easier with the Viper Strike, of course. And also top lane, the Bristleback got some free time now that he managed to actually make Razor back off for a little while. Still heavily behind in last hits, but getting something, like Ghost said earlier, getting the levels, and well, once he gets the Warpath, which he has now, at least there's no chance, or at least there shouldn't be any chance for the Razor to kill the Bristleback, whereas the counter of it, Bristleback killing the Razor, might be possible now.
And Duza, they have heroes that they can throw up there and surprise the Bristleback and get those kills, but once you do that, it's first of all very clear that the heroes are missing, and bottom lane suddenly becomes a lot easier for LC to make an aggressive play towards. Manager not quite yet at his level 6. Once he has that, he'll be a little bit better, but LC with the Viper have more than enough sticking potential to kill a Wraith King off twice, assuming the Viper isn't held up for whatever reason. But it looks like LC, and they're just going to start the stack up of the Ancients. They're going to go into the jungle a little bit for the Lycan. He has his Vlads very close to completion right now, but really I would expect this lane to be going a little bit better for the Lycan. Lolik is doing a really good job as this Earthshaker, very, very close to his Blink Dagger, and once he has that, then things can get really messy for LC really quickly. Rotation in from the Vengeful Spirit mid, most likely not going to do anything against Shaker. In fact, it might be doing a little bit more harm than help. As bottom lane, they're going to get into a fight. Madra is shielded up, it will burst, doing quite a bit of damage. Now he's going to try to go for Limbo, getting healed up by the Abaddon, but he's the only one doing damage here. Here comes the Vengeful Spirit, a little bit too late to save Madra's life. No, another shield actually will get the kill. Now the turnaround to Manager with another heal from the Abaddon. They're going to get 3 kills here. Here comes the Shaker, really wants to get that Echo Slam onto Madra, but I don't think he has the vision. He's going to use it instead onto Spartan, will get the kill on the Abaddon, but that's going to be another kill for LC here. If they could keep up with the poison attack, and they will. 1 more onto Lolik, 2 more onto Lolik, 1 more is all they need. There it is. It's a bloodbath in the bottom lane, and LC come out on top. The Abaddon's heals with level 3 corrosive skin. That is so much healing value right there, and Duza did not expect that.
That last Aphotic Shield came out just in time as well. I was so sure Madara is gonna go down, but I guess just the low levels, the damage ain't enough. Fire Blast only level 2 as well. My freaking god, suddenly the lane, all in all, just hasn't gone all that bad, because Viper, he's level 6, almost level 7, and look at Manager, just about to hit level 5. So in the end, LC come out kind of ahead, and also being able to kill the Earthshaker there. I mean, he got the 1 kill, but at least still slowing down the Blink Dagger.
And that's just not good enough if you're the Earthshaker. If you're any mid-hero, you go down there, kill off a support, but die in the process, that is not something that a mid-hero is supposed to be doing. That's not something a core hero is supposed to be doing pretty much ever, unless you're, you know, doing it to buy a Hyanamitis recipe and then you die straight after, or something like that, but that clearly was not going to happen there. So LC, I'm concerned for their bottom lane now that they have won that. They might get into one of these situations where they feel invulnerable, and they are definitely not invulnerable. That was a very, very close fight. If they decide to go a little bit too aggressive, they can be really punished by the fact that they just won that last fight. But we'll see if they decide to do it right now. They're positioning for a dive, but that definitely is not a good idea right now. But if LC play this, you know, slow and steady, then they should be getting quite a bit more out of this lane. And as you said, Manager is off to a very, very slow start on this Wraith King. He has level 3 Blast, which is good, but up against the shield from Abaddon, which is going to be the first thing casted, you can probably get 2 shields out. It's going to be hard to kill off this Viper now that he has very close to max corrosive skin.
And getting pretty close to that mech as well. Only needs the recipe, which is about 600 gold away. And look at this, there's a smoke from the Spartan as well as Skanks. I mean, I was just wanting to ask you if they're going to go and try to shut down the Earthshaker or slow down the Blink once again. And, well, if they go right now, if they get the kill, it's going to be just before the Blink.
The timing is going to be razor thin. The Wolves already spotting out Lolik. Here comes the Venge, and the Wolf form is up. Stun going to connect onto the Venge, but you get the Howl up and a couple hits from the Wolf. Just one, actually. Going to kill off the Shaker. That's level 3 Wave of Terror right there. But bottom lane, Madra, suddenly without his supports, is going to be aggressive upon. He can't get out of there in time. Abaddon coming in, but a little bit out of range for his heal. Here comes the Razor over towards mid. I don't think he can do that much because the tower, first of all, is already dead. He gets the static link off, but as far as killing off User, unless there's body blocking involved, it looks like there will be a little bit, but probably not enough. The Lycan should be a-okay. Making 1-for-1 trade, taking a tower in the process. Not the worst trade for LC.
Yeah, I think the most crucial part is still the Earthshaker. He was so damn close to the Blink. I mean, he's still pretty damn close and he's gonna get it anyway. But just kind of a mental victory there, if nothing else. I'm not too sure how much LC thought that Earthshaker has gold pulled up, but in the end it worked out for the Manager, taking a lot of damage, but with a paralyzing cask, he's gonna be fine for now. Mother, of course, used the Viper Strike earlier before he went down, so not gonna have that, but still doing fine. Top lane, Lolik cannot really farm properly there as well, just because Relax is so damn abusive with the Quill Sprays. But he has the Blink now, Lolik. He wants to keep on going, he has the Echo Slam as well, but he's just not fast enough to keep up.
There's going to be Lolik probably trying to surprise the Bristleback with a Blink Echo. And right now, the Bristleback, or LC in general, have no idea how much gold Lolik is packing. Unfortunately for the Earthshaker, the Courier is being lazy and it is not delivering the Blink Dagger right now. If it was, then kill potential is there towards the Bristleback with just a massive burst of magic damage, but without the Blink, it's just not going to happen, even if he does have a Razor right there. So it's going to be a much more interesting game now that Duza actually has a way of starting some sort of fight, and well, we'll see where he wants to go there first. It is going to be a surprise, and it's going to be a double surprise since he also has a smoke. Maybe it's going to be towards the bottom lane, and maybe he'll try to burst down a Viper, but again, Viper is very tanky at this stage. Mid lane, there's nobody. Shaker is going to look for someone, but I don't really know if there are many options here for him. It is going to be bottom. Madra, if he gets chain stunned perfectly, they might be able to kill him. But with Abaddon right behind him, unless Abaddon gets caught with another stun, a cask bounce, or a fissure, then he should be fine, the Viper.
If Mother is like in the creep wave, it still might be enough if he has his threats on Agi, but well, they catch Kaiser and well, Lycan will go down before the invis even takes effect, so nicely done. That's the power of the Blink. Echo Slam was used, of course, for a kill. Still, just slowing down the Lycan, who is going for the straight off Necrobook, not even finishing power threats before. But at the same time, mech is finished on the Viper. And well, Relax, just farming up top lane up to 2k gold. What do you even go for on the Bristleback? Do you go for Crimson Guard or what's the choice here?
Well, the right click damage actually isn't that high from Duza, with the exception of Viper right now. So although going for Vanguard, you're never really going to be regretting, or you're very rarely going to regret a Vanguard pickup. I think going for something a little bit more magic distance heavy or just raw health heavy is going to be a little bit better. Bottom lane, they're going to get into yet another fight. Cass going to bounce to Spartan away from Madra. That's good for him. He's going to turn around and try to kill off Limbo, racing that Death Ward. Looks like he'll take another Wraithfire Blast and will fall short. Spartan also going to, well, actually get the kill on the Witch Doctor, then try to fall back. Here comes the Wolf, already shapeshifted, going to go for Captain Love. That's one kill already. Going now for Oleg. Stole a lot of damage, but he really can't afford to turn around and fight. Magic Missile is there. The Wolf just needs to catch up. There it is. Spartan taking a lot of damage from the Razor, but I think Oleg's going to lose this race, and he will. Fissure coming in a little bit too late. A 3-for-1 down in this bottom lane. Manager, Lolik, maybe considering continuing this fight, but right now LC fighting with 4 heroes, leaving their Bristleback to do his own thing, and well, the Viper took a lot longer than Duza really expected because of the heals from the Abaddon again and the natural tankiness of the Viper. Now packing the mech, and LC, they're reinforcing very well. Now going to go for Manager, trying to take down his ultimate, but it's going to be close. Here comes the cast, plus a nice two-man blast with the Earthshaker jumping in as well. Madra is screwed here, and Spartan is pretty dead as well. Skanks off to the side, going to try to get himself into a corner. Maybe TP out is his best hope, but not with those vortexes there. He has no way out of here. That's going to be 3 kills, and LC, they get a little bit too overconfident down this bottom lane, and, well, they bite off way more than they can chew.
I mean, they should have been expecting the Earthshaker to rotate like that, to be honest. I mean, I don't think they had any vision of him, and now they're going to go into Roche Pit as well, Kaiser. He even used the Necro level once for that, but not going to get anything done with them. Even going to feed away the gold from it, so that was a just horrible exchange for them. All they got was, well, arguably, yes, a pretty damn long cooldown, but they're going to pincer them in maybe. Oh my god, they're all caught here. If only LC had some AoE lockdown, like that Blink Echo Slam, for example, but they have none of it. So they cannot even get a single kill, although all of them were pretty low on either health or mana.
But LC, now they're actually fighting with their Bristleback. He has gone for that Vanguard, so he's able to charge the front lines. The Ice Blast is out, and the Roshan is spotted, but with Wave of Terror, with the level 1 goo as well, this Roshan is very, very dead, and Lycan now has a double life. Up towards top lane, Oleg is making some sort of a pressure play up there, but it's not going to be enough. The Aegis is claimed by LC, and only being 1 kill down, being even on towers, they're looking okay right now, especially if they make a rotation down towards bottom with a whole bunch of their heroes. Looks like Bristleback is going to clear out the Ancients first, but then after that I think they should be looking for a tower down towards bottom, but Blink on Earthshaker, that is a pretty good defender.
It is probably one of the better ones as well, I mean, especially with a level 2 Echo Slam being there, but more heroes are coming in. Captain Love, of course, had a pretty nice Ice Blast as well the last time around when Earthshaker came in to first stun them. So the team fight will definitely be there for Duza, whereas for LC, they really don't have any single just massive team fight ultimate. Maybe if you can count in Shapeshift, but that's really not what you usually count as in a team fight ultimate, so Duza have a slight upper hand in that case. But if Bristleback goes for a pipe next, for example, which I think he definitely should consider, or, well, I guess maybe you can try to go for a straight off BKB or something, but at the moment just killing off a Razor Illusion. But he's up to 2k gold. Bristleback, just pure HP, or what's the build?
Yeah, I think it should be a pipe build, or at least a pipe build for someone on LC. Bottom lane, Captain Love is stuck between one too many summons. Blink Dagger forward for the Shaker. Considering turning around is the Lycan. He has a shield up on him, going to get stunned off first, but here comes Relax, and this Bristleback is made for tower diving. He's going to kill off the Shaker. No more response from Duza. They're going to sacrifice 2 heroes down this bottom lane, and they're going to lose a tier 1 tower. Death Ward for Skanks over in mid, which the Wish Doctor will fall short, and the Vengeful Spirit will get away after eating those wand charges. Tower down, a couple kills for LC, and now that LC actually have their Bristleback, who's in play, things get a little bit hairier for Duza, because so far the Bristleback has not been playing this game at all. Skanks is going to get, well, killed by a plasma field because he decided it would be a good idea to stand there. That was not a good idea, but maybe it was all a bait, an elaborate bait for the rotation to come in. Ice Blast is going to fly over them, but it won't spot them, and now Limbo is caught with poison and goo. This Witch Doctor is dead. A 1-for-1 trade overall. I don't know if that was planned, but let's say that it was.
Yeah, all calculated from LC for sure, man. Don't ever doubt them, but at the moment, looking at the kill score, 12 to 13. Graphs, though, they were about 3,500 in the favor of LC. Dropped down to almost 0 now, back to the same amount. XP, about a 4.5k lead as well, which almost zeroed out, so... Oh man, LC, they were struggling a little bit, but like I said, the Bristleback has joined the fights now, and he's just a frontline boss. I mean, even if he gets hit by the Ice Blast, he's probably going to be fine with the amount of health that he has.
Yeah, for a little while. At a certain point, he's going to be taking a lot more damage because Crimson does fall off quite heavily down the line, especially if you misuse it. And hopefully by now, teams no longer just randomly Crimson and then don't do anything with it. I've seen that one too many times, and looks like that's not going to be the case. He's zoning out everyone from Duza by himself, while the Lycan just goes to town on the tower. Like, you don't really want to throw a cask at him right now, and you don't really want to blink in with the Earthshaker right now, so Relax did a good job at doing that, taking literally no damage in the process, and LC are going to make a clean retreat. They have a circle drawn for the top lane, and it looks like they could just go up there and then move all the way down to the tier 2s, and we'll probably get a very similar set of objectives than what they've already achieved.
Man, I absolutely love how the Abaddon missed coil to heal that Necro Warrior. The Witch Doctor was coming in, just one step in, get the right click, then back off just to make sure he doesn't get caught. But just before the deciding right click came in, there was a missed coil to the level 1 Necrobook, so LC not even giving them Duza just an inch, just everything is denied to them, or at least they're trying to pretty much play the perfect game at the moment, I guess. But at the moment, 19 minutes in, this core Earthshaker has been probably extremely underwhelming. I don't think there's any other way to describe this. Manager on the Wraith King did go for the Hand of Midas, and well, no blink, no mobility yet. So I don't know, what's the plan for Duza? I mean, how do they fight? Do they just wait for LC to come into a massive Echo Slam, or is that really their plan?
Well, you know what, as you said before, Duza, they do have the AoE thing going for them. Unfortunately for Oleg, he's not going to get any benefits off of AoE. As long as they hold some sort of crowd control, they see the Razor. They will not see the Razor completely, but they have a swap, and that comes out very quickly. There it is. Oleg is so dead. They have the AoE on their side. Echo Slam, the Ice Blast, even the Death Ward, which is very soon to be Aghanim'd. Witch Doctor getting quite a bit of cash accrued. All these things could just annihilate a team, and the team that they are going to try to annihilate has to make sure that they have their AoE items ready. The Crimson Guard has to be up. The mech from the Viper has to be there, and if those two heroes die without getting those two items off, or if the Abaddon dies before getting anything off, which unlikely, then LC are just going to get absolutely destroyed by AoE. The problem with that is that you can only do that whenever Echo Slam is up, and Echo Slam has quite the cooldown.
Man, I absolutely love how Captain Love, he let an Ice Blast fly top lane. There was a Necro level 3 used by the Lycan to try to push down the tower. The Ice Blast killed the Necro Warrior, and at the time Ancient Operation had, I think, 720 HP before he picked up the Ogre Club. So pretty much he went from 720 to 120 with just an Ice Blast, but Skanks, he's gonna get caught way out of position on his own. Just easy kill. Finally Duza getting something, but if you look at the graphs, they are in general still falling behind, but Manager's Blink now, having a level 2 ultimate, might change things a little bit. He can definitely just go in the front lines, even if he dies once, who the hell cares? He just has to be careful of not getting mana drained by the Necrobooks.
And that is very hard. Again, he doesn't have the mobility to keep out of range for the feedback, and just from what I've seen of the Lycan, haven't really been playing super close attention to the Archer creep, or the Archer summon, I guess. The couple times that I have seen him, he has been casting the mana drain, so as long as he targets the right person, and the right person right now is going to be pretty darn clear, you mana burn the Wraith King, then his reincarnation might not even be there. In fact, I don't think it's been used once so far, which is generally a good thing for Wraith King.
It was once
keeping yourself alive, but it has been used once. But
yeah.
LC, they have the answer for it, and it's probably not going to be any more answers being picked up. I don't see anyone else on their team getting Necrobook or Diffusal or anything like that.
So we'll see. I have no idea if LC even want to go for the fights. Maybe they're waiting for like one next item. Bristleback, I guess it's pretty close to a BKB, just needs the recipe for it, so that might be the item they're waiting for, because with the BKB on the Bristleback, he can definitely feel safe enough to just go on the high ground, right click away at the tier 3, or maybe not the high ground straight away. They still have 3 outer towers to take care of as well, but with the BKB Bristleback main, he should be pretty much the perfect frontline tank.
And there's nothing that Duza can really do about that. Like, even if the Witch Doctor drops the Death Ward, which is usually a pretty powerful tool at zoning out enemies, the Bristleback can probably just charge the Witch Doctor and then beat him in a race of damage. So it's scary times for the Witch Doctor, even though the Witch Doctor is rather tanky. I mean, he's at 1300 HP. He's got the 2 tanky parts of the Aghanim Scepter and a Bracer. There's a random Bracer there, but the Witch Doctor is able to survive quite a bit. But, I mean, the Bristleback, he doesn't have any damage items, but he still will be able to do a lot. LC, they might know where Lolik is right now. It seems like they kind of know. Another
they
wave
were
is
trying
coming.
to even cut some trees. I mean, I have no idea how they know, but never mind. They don't even try to wave off terror, though. They're blinking it out, but oh, Blink Echo some catches free with the Ice Blast to follow. There's the Splitter, and my god, relax. He's still alive, but Lolik, well, he did quite a lot of damage, but the follow-up wasn't quite there in time. So there's the mech. It is a 1-for-1 in the end, and it is not favoring Duza.
And this is the problem of the Duza lineup. They have a huge hit for the first hit, and after that they just don't have anything. Relax doesn't have his BKB here, but he's still going to survive. Madra catches Oleg with some poison and goo onto Limbo with the Bristleback charging forward. TP coming in from the Shaker, but he can't really do anything here except for a fissure. Relax will kill off the Witch Doctor with one more spray. Oleg actually has his BKB up already, but I don't know if it's going to do enough. Spartan is going to get clipped with an Ice Blast. He will take a fall, most likely. That is lethal, but Viper and Lycan still in the front line, still zoning everyone else back. It is going to be an even trade overall, but when you're Duza and you have an ultimate combination like that, you don't expect for an even trade. Maybe they're going to get the Lycan on the way out with the fissure. They will. Now trying to go for Madra. Lolik, though, fighting to the death. Madra might actually make this happen. No, he won't. Lolik with the stick charges will keep himself alive. So Duza, they finally make something happen, and they don't lose the Earthshaker either. But it took a little bit too long, and if LC played that a little bit more conservatively, an even 2 for 2 after getting initiated upon with that big an Ice Blast and that big of an Echo Slam, I mean, that's just not supposed to happen if you're Duza. You're supposed to clean house once you throw all those skills out.
Yeah, I don't think the initiation or pretty much the AoE combination could go too much better, just because the Witch Doctor had his Death Ward, I think, at the same time as well that the Fissure came out from the Earthshaker, so I don't know, man. LC just looking pretty damn strong, although they did go a little bit too deep. Still, Earthshaker had to buy back. So Earthshaker, I mean, not going to go or not going to get the crit stick soon enough, just going for 4-step first anyway. So it's going to be hindered quite a lot. At least Brave King has himself a Maelstrom, so his farming speeds will be increased even more. So that's nice, but Viper, he's only 600 gold away from that Aghanim Scepter, and once he gets that, things are going to get pretty damn hairy for Duza in the fights, I think. I mean, Brave King, I just struggle to see that he's going to have a massive impact, at least compared to the other cores on the map.
Yeah, the Wraith King's job is just to clean up after all those AoE ultimates are used, and I think at this point he is powerful enough to clean up, assuming he's not trying to duel a full health Lycan or a Viper or something like that. But if he does end up in those situations, then I don't really think it's going to be going too well for him. LC, they grab another Roshan very, very quickly, as you would expect from a team with the Bristleback, Lycan, and Avenge. And now they're going to try to go for a bottom lane push. Shaker does have his Echo Slam up. Duza have all their ultimates up, in fact. They're facing down an Aegis on the Viper? Actually, who grabbed that? Okay, Bristleback. That is not the hero I would expect to have the Aegis, although it's not a terrible hero to have with Aegis. Bristleback is generally the last hero to die, and that means all your allies aren't going to be there for the respawn.
I mean, I think it's kind of a way that Bristleback otherwise, well, Necrobook is there, Fissure flies out, but Ice Blast will not connect on anybody at all. But Manager, he blinks in, wants to get the Necrobooks. Is it the greatest idea? Who the hell knows? Manager suddenly so damn low on mana, even with the Magic Wand charges. And are we going to see a fight from LC? But I really think it's just Bristleback can stay in the front lines and not worry about preemptive BKB. Even if he gets Echo Slammed, he's going to be fine and comes back with the BKB. If there's a fight as it is, Relax, taking a lot of damage as well. He might lose the Aegis just straight away, but he's doing a lot of counter damage. He even baits out the Echo Slam. So I think it's a win for LC already as it is. Manager just barely enough had the mana. Oleg will be next with his BKB. Razor just still doesn't stand a chance against the physical damage of LC, and now Manager, well, thank God for the incarnation. He survives. Madara might go down. Aphotic Shield, Spartan. He does have it, so I think Madara will survive in the end anyway. They get the tier 2, they win the fight, and I guess Aegis paid off.
And that probably wasn't the plan for the Bristleback. He just got chain stunned perfectly with the cast, was sitting in the Death Ward. By the time he actually wanted to use a BKB, it was too late, but it worked out pretty well for him in the end anyway. If you're going to be on the front lines, if you're going to draw that many skills from Duza, then yeah, it doesn't really matter who you are, the Aegis is going to pay off, and he was able to punish them right when he respawned. That's going to be bottom racks is taken from LC, and with no Shaker, no Razor for 20 seconds, it might actually be mid lane as well. Bristleback is more than taking enough to just eat the tower shots, and yeah, that's going to be the play. Just go for mid. Lycan doesn't have his Necro units back up just yet, but he will in 2 seconds, so the Shaker and Razor will be up, but this time they're working without Echo Slam, without Death Ward, and with no Reincarnation. Relax, going to pop the BKB, looks to turn things around again. He doesn't have the rest of his team with him. Blink forward from Lolik, going to make it so that Relax has to stay in the base, but now Lolik is in a lot of trouble. He's going to die, and Relax is going to straight TP out of there. He'll be just fine. It's a nice play on paper for the Shaker, but it doesn't end up going well for him. I guess Duza, they kind of defend. They hold their Raxes in the mid lane, but they end up feeding yet another hero, yet another important hero, over the way towards LC, and they are still down one set of racks, so LC, they're in a very comfortable position right now, and maybe they won't have another Aegis for a very long time, so they can't make a very similar play soon, but I think they're far enough ahead that if they really wanted to try to go for another push, they could probably make it happen.
I mean, at the moment, it's just Earthshaker. Once the Echo Slam is down, LC, he can feel so damn safe and all. Maybe solo kill Limbo, get swapped back, but he has lots of health regeneration. Ice Blast comes in the Death Ward with the Maledict. Skanks, well, he thought a little bit too well about himself, and with this kill, Limbo has himself the Aghanim's as well. But it's just a core Earthshaker. I mean, doesn't feel like a core. A support Earthshaker might have just the exact same items by this time in the game, to be honest. Or at least close enough to it, and I mean, Earthshaker, he goes in, blinks. If he doesn't commit the Echo Slam, there is no way he can actually exit the fight to just come back in and try a second time. He has to go all out once he blinks in. Maybe with the Force Staff he has a way to escape, but at the moment, it's just the last time around he blinked in. He was like, Prism Black, he was almost dead. I think he would have died anyway without them popping the Echo Slam, but Earthshaker was like, I'm gonna die anyway, so I might as well pop it, but it's just not a great situation to be in.
And it's not an easily avoidable situation either. You have one shot to blink in, and well, generally it's a lot easier if the enemy is pushing into the high ground right now, so Shaker will have a couple more opportunities, and even if he doesn't get the most amazing ultimate off, he will now have just stuns to set up for the Witch Doctor, and maybe it's going to be good enough in that sense. At the very least, it's going to get some value. Oleg, he's going to get jumped to start things off. He'll be just fine right now, though. The Viper Strikes will fly, and the Wolf is already prepped. Range Rack's now going to take quite a bit of heat from just one Wolf and the melee unit. That's going to be the death of the Range Racks. Crimson Guard now up to dissuade Duza from coming in. Here comes the Echo Slam onto everyone. Ice Blast going to come in a little bit too late. The Witch Doctor ultimate being channeled for a very long time, doing quite a bit of damage to the backline. Bench Spirit going to drop. Viper dropping very low as well, but the Raxes have already been taken. Maja looks like he will shatter to this. Keezer should be just fine. Relax. In the meantime, running away from everyone else is going to take a fall as well. LC take a 1-for-3 trade. They do take the Range Racks. Looks like it's going to be 4 actually. Spartan is doomed to fall. He has a gem as well. Force up to the high ground, barely getting out of there, but he doesn't have a TP, so he's going to stash the gem, and that is not going to work at all. It's going to be 4 deaths for the LC side. Duza, they hold off of the Witch Doctor's ultimate, which not only split the fight, so that LC were working on 2 fronts, but also just completely destroyed them with the amount of DPS it does. It's a hold, though. I mean, I don't know. LC, they could respawn and then just go again if they really, really want to, or they just wait for Roshan. Right now, unknown respawn time, but that is going to make it so that even if they do lose a Viper very quickly, well, someone will be back up to avenge him.
That was pretty much exactly the fight that I need as well. Beautiful Echo Slam to start things, although the Echo Slam itself didn't do a crazy amount of damage. It did manage to just create enough panic into LC, so they didn't focus properly on one side. Like you said, therefore they also just split them up. So, fight 1. They did lose Range Racks, and they're probably still on the losing side of the game, just because, I mean, it's not that easy for their lineup to keep on pushing out lanes. Just because LC, they're also going to keep on getting stronger. I mean, Bristleback going to have the Heart of the Rask finished soon enough. Kaiser will have the AC as well, has the Hyperstone already. So, they hold on for now, but what do they actually have to do to win the game? I think maybe like contesting the next Roshan, winning the fight at Roshan and getting Roshan itself definitely would be pretty damn good for them.
Yeah, it's just taking a fight outside of their base. Like, they could win every single fight for the rest of the game, but if it's happening in the Radiant side of the base, or in the Radiant base, and if LC have 1 or 2 buybacks, then the crackback is not there, and Duza, yeah, they don't lose anything, but they don't gain anything either. Roshan is probably the most realistic place where they can win a fight that's not right in their base. So then after they do that, they could probably either take down the entirety of the outer towers of the bottom lane, or finish up the tier 2 mid or something like that. So Duza, they certainly have the team that could fight in the Roshan pit. That's probably where they're at their strongest, in fact. So if they make that happen, then that's going to be their ticket into victory. But for right now, they're just holding on. They're making sure that they don't lose, but not losing is not the same as winning. So they have to make a play eventually. And LC, I mean, if they get a little bit too careless, then yeah, for sure, Duza are going to have way too many one-team fights, and then they're just going to accrue a lead that is insurmountable. But right now, the lead that LC have, it's still substantial, 8,000 gold right now, up to 0 experience, though. So they have to be very, very careful with how they proceed for the next couple minutes of the game. Getting a pick off on Manager, now that's a good way to start. If they can connect with something, yes, they will actually, BKB TP out. Wraith King dropping very low, but will be fine. That's a 10-second BKB? Yeah, it was. So Wraith King not really using his BKB the way he wants to. At least he doesn't die.
Well, it's definitely good that he didn't die. I mean, reincarnation-wise, doesn't matter that much. It's only a 1-minute cooldown, but If he had waited too long, maybe there would have been like a Vengeful Spirit coming close enough for the swap later on. So definitely a good choice to go with the first life, immediate BKB TP. But the smoke, it might catch Limbo. Definitely not the highest priority target, but he's carrying a gem, so it's going to be good enough for them. There's the slows coming out from Mother, even throws out the Viper Strike. TP from Limbo though, never mind, not going to be enough. Nice attempt. In the meantime, Lycan running away from Oleg, or I guess wants to get rid of the static link and then maybe come back, turn things around. He's going to attempt it. There's the Wolves as well, but the meta still Oleg might be a little bit too fast, but more heroes coming. Relax, finds himself Lolik. Lolik cannot go and help at all. Skank swap, maybe he's just in range, gets it as well, but he needs more follow-up. Kaiser, no ultimate anymore. Oleg might actually somehow be safe, but he doesn't have a TP. How freaking long will they keep on chasing?
Well, as you said, he doesn't have a TP, so there's not really much of a chance that Oleg gets out until he grabs a haste rune. My god, that was lucky. Viper Strike going to connect, though, and Razor's now going to pop the BKB and be fine. Man, haste rune is pretty good, and Razor, he's very far away from his base. He actually can't come back right now because still no TP, so though they don't kill him off, they get the next best thing. A Razor that's out of the fight for a very, very long time, and by the time he actually gets back into the base and gets up to full HP, his entire mid lane is going to be dead. So Razor's out of commission. For all intents and purposes, that's a kill. Now LC, they're going to get jumped upon. One-man Echo Slam onto Keezer. He's going to get force staffed out, but now the Death Ward being channeled. No one's looking to interrupt that. Relax is getting right on top of the Witch Doctor, but it's tearing through the rest of his team in the meantime. Mod is being chased down by Spartan, while the Bristleback cleans up the Witch Doctor in the end. Relax should be able to kill off the rest of the Rax's manager. Chasing a little bit too far, perhaps. Fortification does go up, and Relax now going to get caught with cold feet. He will be brought down as well. Razor's going to return to the fight. And wow, someone has to save a stun for Limbo. The Venge has to use their swap for that. Like, it's nice to use a swap defensively and everything like that, but this Witch Doctor ultimate, that in itself is keeping Duza in this game.
I think you're spot on it as well, and it's going to get even harder just because there's an Aghanim's Ancient Apparition now as well, so 17-second Ice Blast duration. I think LC, they've definitely gone into this a little bit sloppy. I think Bristleback, maybe apart from the Reaver, or instead of the Reaver rather, maybe should have invested into a Basher, for example. They need like any kind of extra lockdown to deal with Limbo. He has definitely gotten way too much value out of the Death Ward for way too many fights during the entire duration of this game. But Roche is going on, it's being attempted at the very least, and LC without Bristle, without Lycan, I don't think they can contest this.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty much suicidal. Lycan's going to be up soon. They have a tier 1 bottom lane, so they do have easy access to TP in. Spartan going to try to force them back. He's going to force staff in, but it's a little bit too early. Captain Love is going to get jumped, but Madra is going to get chain stun in response. Going to pop the BKB, but the Death Ward is going to be channeled one more time. Madra this time will drag the Death Ward away, so the Death Ward channel is done. Here comes the Wolf. He's already shapeshifted in. Well, he's going to go straight for the Witch Doctor. He has quite a few units to maybe get some lucky bounces for the Witch Doctor, but no, he's going to get pawed down. Viper is down for the count, but the Lycan's still running every which way. He's going to go straight for Oleg. I don't think the Viper can escape this time, although they're going to stun up the Lycan. He's going to run, not going to get hit by the Ice Blast. He's going to get walled off by the Fissure. Poor Fissure by Lolik, and now he's going to pay the price for it. Skank's going to get focused down by Manager right now. Swapped himself out as Relax now peels off Manager. In the process, the Necro units will kill off the Earthshaker, and Manager will lose his second life. That's going to be a held Roshan for LC, and it's so low right now that hell, even their Vengeful Spirit can probably clean it up. LC, they're going to go right back to the Roshan pit. Buyback from the Witch Doctor isn't there. There's no Echo Slam. This is a chance for LC to grab the Aegis, grab the cheese, and then go into the enemy base one more time. Without the Viper, it's not exactly the push you want to make, but it's strong enough so that they could get something done here. At least force that buyback.
Mother pretty much just took one for the team. Getting the Death Ward out of the fight, I mean, if the Death Ward is used for one kill, it's still acceptable for LC if they only lose one with it. So it's not damaging like 3 to 4 heroes at the same time. Although Lycan running into a Razor who at the time had 224 damage stolen, which is the max damage you can actually steal. So that was maybe a little bit suicidal, almost paid the price as well with the Earthshaker coming in to help. But in the end, LC, they win the fight, they have the Aegis and the cheese both on the Bristleback. So good luck killing Bristleback 3 times.
Well, fortunately for Duza, they have an Aghanim's Ancient Apparition, so cheese is not really going to be doing much. You don't really want to use it for a mana potion. And LC, they're going to start the siege. Oleg not going to get hit by the Viper Strike, but Relax is still healthy enough to just keep on charging forward. Fissures are going to fly, and the Necro units are going to be summoned, thrown in. Keezer really wants this set of Raxing it. It looks like they will take it. Will they lose anyone in the process? Relax has so many ways of surviving that he's going to be A-okay. 2 Raxing now in favor of LC, and there's still a tier 2 tower to get through up on top lane, or they can take a fight right now. If they win a fight here, then they win the game. Manager, he's dropping low very quickly, has a BKB, but he really doesn't want to use it right now. He's going to have to, else he loses his Reincarnation. Looks like he's going to use Reincarnation first, relaxing to get focused down. He's going to use his Aegis right now. Witch Doctor ultimate once again bouncing through, will kill off the Vengeful Spirit, doing a lot of damage to Madra and Spartan in the process as well. Relax is going to return though. Keezer's Wolves are here as well. This Bristleback is going to make everyone from Duza just fall back. He's going to get collapsed upon though. Where is the Lycan right now? He's coming in hot, but it's not going to be in time to save Relax. He has the cheese. Can he get it off? Will he want to get it off? I think he had a second there, but he decided not to. LC, they take their Raxes, they re-engage in a very poor spot, and Witch Doctor's ultimate once again being the hero of Duza. But will it be enough being 2 Raxes down? Like, at a certain point, that Witch Doctor ultimate is going to be cancelled, and they can't rely on that forever.
Also, so far, it's been working out for them at least. And LC, do they even have anybody building for something that would be additional kind of lockdown? Does not look like it at all at the moment, so I think still maybe slight misitemization from LC, or maybe slight misplays as well, because looking at the graphs at the moment, although in net worth they are still slightly ahead, XP is about 2500 in Duza's favor, so if this keeps on going long enough, Duza might just fight back even from the 2 Rax deficit. But for LC, at least they just lost the fight, but they got the Rax, which didn't happen for I think the past 2, maybe even 3 tries.
And they still have the cheese, so they still have a way of sustaining a fight outside of just their items right now. I think it's really a problem. If you look at their draft, they have one hero who could actually cancel a channel, so Vengeful Spirit, it's all on her, but like by the time the Witch Doctor ultimate drops, Vengeful Spirit is being focused, she has to run. She can't really find the Witch Doctor and then swap him out, else she'll just die in the process. But I mean, I think if the Vengeful Spirit just uses her entire life to cancel a Witch Doctor ultimate, as long as it hasn't been channeled for a couple seconds already, then that's worth it for her. That should be her #1 job, because no one is going to do it on the LC side. They need a Basher, they need an MKB, they need something. Sheep Stick would be great, but I don't think they're going to want to grab it. They're too far away from a Sheep Stick on other heroes. None of the heroes usually want to pick up a Sheep Stick either. And it's probably not even worth it using a Sheep Stick on the Witch Doctor, but grabbing a Basher on Lycan, for example, would be such an easy way of at least having a chance of shutting down this Witch Doctor ultimate, because it's not even level 16 yet. Like, the Witch Doctor's ultimate can get stronger, and it's already terrifyingly strong.
And not only that, both the Grave King and Razor, they are #1 and 2 in net worth now. Razor, just before the last fight, did finish up the Aghanim's. Now, both of them have enough for buybacks as well if need be. Manager, I mean, what's the next item? I guess even Grave King can go for an Abyssal Blade if he wants to, but Oleg runs into 4. Is he going to pay the price? The swap is there. Are we going to see it there for that all? There's the Echo Slam, catches at least 3 heroes. Ice Blast will follow on all 5. They have some PKBs, but is it going to be enough to therefore getting max value once again, more or less? Oleg, still alive, will finally go down to Mother. Nope, the Ray Fire Blast keeps him alive. Are you kidding me? Spartan probably will be next. My god, even Relax is not tanky enough. Ice Blast still there for a couple of seconds. He's going to have the cheese. Will he pop it this time around? Yes, he will. Still not back to completely full HP though. They've lost 2. It's a 2-for-1 trade, but Relax cold feet it up. Don't think there's any escape. His teammates just ditched him.
And I think that's actually the correct decision. They maybe could have gotten one more kill at the trade of the Bristleback, but it would have resulted in a lot more heroes of their own dying. The Witch Doctor was in a perfect position. Like, the fight broke out in this area. The Witch Doctor was nearer to the secret shop. He was just channeling the Death Ward, and the Vengeful Spirit, well, I mean, you could take a look at where she died. That was nowhere close enough to being able to cancel that Witch Doctor ultimate. So once again, it's the Witch Doctor doing it, and the Ice Blast Echo Slam was also pretty darn good that time as well. So Duza, they get the team fight to go their way, and LC, again, we said in the draft, they have a very single target focused lineup. They don't have this huge AoE team fight with which they could rely on to crush the enemy team as a 5-man unit. They have to take a more scattered fight. If they go head to head, most of the time they will lose. If they take 5 1-versus-1 fights, that's something that they could get away with.
So LC, I kind of lost count how many fights they've actually been losing at the moment. Of course, Duza did really initiate that fight well, or rather, the plan was nice to smoke in. Razor maybe even got caught a little bit too early, but LC, their item progression has just stopped, and thanks to that, they didn't have the raw power to just move through a Razor with his BKB activated. And the good thing is, of course, that LC, even though they kind of lost the fight in the end, it's just straight after the fight, Duza had to TP all the way back home. I mean, 1 tier 4 is almost down already, only 541 HP remaining. But there is a full AC finished on Grave King, so there's no AC advantage even for LC anymore. Just It feels like Duza have gotten to a point where their team fight is just a hell of a lot stronger than LC's.
We said it would take a long time for them to get the sustained damage that they need. They're at that point now, although it seems like they just don't need it with the way that the ultimates have been working for Duza the past couple of fights. For LC, they just have to make sure to kill someone off first. If they find someone and they're able to kill him off, and they certainly have enough damage in order to do that, then the high ground or the Roshan becomes a lot easier for LC to take. Like, they are still very powerful at the moment, but the BKBs are really ruining them right now. Like, you get the swap back, but Bristleback is at this point not doing too much damage. He's not even worth focusing, honestly, for the Duza side, and Madra's kind of the same way. He's able to do some, but he's not really able to race the Death Ward. He's not even close to that. And well, Lycan's doing a little bit of damage here and there, but again, it's just not enough right now. LC, they have to get some sort of damage out of, make themselves a little bit more threatening, and then actually try to kill off these support heroes. Without the support heroes first killing off everyone from LC, Roshan is going to be integral in that plan, not going to be a known respawn time just yet. But once it does come back up, it's probably going to be a fight that, I don't want to say decides the game, but it's like decides the game -1, a step below that.
Yeah, at the moment, man, LC, I'm pretty sure they wish that they had the tier 2 down already on the top lane. That would kind of open up split pushing a hell of a lot more. Just try to go S4 maybe from like mid or bottom lane, push out those lanes and just have Lycan be at the ready to go for just full on rat style. But like I said, they need some form of damage items, and for LC, they've been trying to just force things for God knows how long. And also, speaking of forcing things, they want to go for Oleg as well. Keyser, I mean, he's pretty damn fast, but Oleg, so is he. And he's just gonna BKB TP out, nothing to stop it. That was kind of to be expected, I think, but I don't know. At least you get him away so you can push out the lane yourself.
Is that BKB? That was, yeah, minimum BKB also, so it's not like they drew out a second of the item or anything like that. So this game would be so much easier for LC if they had an MKB or a Basher, but they are not getting really enough gold to very easily pick up those types of items, and they should be looking for that. Bristleback's at 2,300. I think Lycan's at a similar area. He is at 2,900, almost 3K. So Basher would be fantastic. They could, if they picked off the Razor right there. Yeah, the Razor has buyback. He has enough for like 3 buybacks right now. But hey, if you get rid of the buyback, it's just one step closer to being able to crack the base. And right now, the Razor's holding on to that money. And if he really wants to, the Razor, he could grab some huge survivability item right now. He could even start going for damage. A Butterfly will be pretty sweet on the Razor, but man, Duza, they're getting a lot more than LC right now. In fact, the Wraith King is very close to being 6 slot. Has a Midas to ship out, and if he does that, he's going to be very difficult to kill, and he's going to be doing a lot of damage in the process.
Yeah, and he's almost maxed out on levels as well, so there's no point in keeping on to the Midas for the XP part either. So the only downside is, of course, when you're that high level, when you die, your respawn is longer, but as long as you have the buyback, doesn't matter all that much, unless you die straight after once again. But for a Wraith King, that means like 4 devs. Mid lane though, they're gonna get the jump on Spartan with the Ice Blast. Well, there was no chance at all. Double damage on Wraith King as well. So LC main,
it activated, but it didn't do anything. You don't see that every day.
You most certainly don't. And well, at least now there is a Blink Dagger pickup on Vengeful. Whether he's actually gonna hold that Blink swap to deal with that Witch Doctor or not, we'll see. But by this point, it's not only the Witch Doctor anymore, or maybe not only the Witch Doctor, but it's not like Witch Doctor is 80% of the fight anymore. It's just Duza, it's all evening out for them, all of them are getting the farm. And LC, I guess they've kind of realized that brute forcing things isn't going to work out, so they've kind of relaxed back a little bit as well, trying to farm up themselves. Because theoretically, if all 3 of their cores would be super farmed, I think I'd still give the edge to them, although then again, just the 17-second duration Ice Blast is so crazy to deal with.
And LC, they don't really have that much time to sit back either, because Roshan is being attempted right now by Duza, and they're doing it pretty darn quickly as well. Again, this is where their team is at their strongest. I don't think they can make any plays to steal this. They don't have any Blink Daggers here. Although they're going to swap back Limbo. That's a nice hero to get rid of. And actually, the Venge grabs the Aegis. Can they kill off Limbo? They really need to right now, but the damage might not be there. Skank is going to lose his double life. Limbo's going to be at the trade, though. That's totally worth it for LC right now. If the Lycan can get anything done, the Process Module, though, going to get stunned up, walled off from the rest of his team. Will pop the BKB, but he can't do anything versus Manager's damage output. Ice Blast now going to fly it. Will connect onto both Relax and Spartan. BKB does go up, but it really can't do much of anything. But in the meantime, Lycan is the real problem here. He's the one clearing out everything. The Echo Slam goes out, clearing out most of the creep wave, but the BKB is up from Lycan beforehand, and everyone else in the bottom lane still surviving right now. Keezer has to go for some Raxing right now. He has to worry about the Earthshaker, has to worry about this fortification. Ancient Apparition is here as well, and it looks like the Lycan is going to fall back. In the meantime, the rest of London Conspiracy, Madra bought back to not really accomplish all too much. The top lane tier 3 and tier 2 are both dead. Maybe that worked out for LC. I think the trade of, first of all, Witch Doctor for Venge, that was totally worth it. And also Venge grabbing the Aegis was a pretty smooth play on her part as well. But I don't really know if it's enough for LC to make a really game-ending play.
Probably not at the moment, but at least they're making it so that Duza does not have an advantage with the Aegis. Although one big mistake is that, like, first of all, even for a little bit he tried to chase for the kills. And I think it was fine to just right-click the Earthshaker a little bit just to make sure he's going to back off, but chasing the Ancient Operation, for example, unnecessary. And in such a case where you know the defense is already there, just go for range racks. It does not regenerate. I mean, he mostly used the wolves only anyway, so I think just focusing the range racks would have been a little bit better. Although melee racks definitely a hell of a lot stronger. I mean, it doesn't really matter if the damage is just going to get healed back up.
And you could chase for those kills, I think, if you have a Basher. Otherwise, you're just taking way too long. You're getting too far away from the Raxes. You have to be able to stay close, and maybe if you get a lucky bash, you'll be able to take him down. In fact, I think if that does happen, Shaker and Ancient Apparition are both dead, although with the Shiva's Guard, maybe not anymore. If you're going to be diving into the tier 4s closer to the fountain, then you're wasting your own time, you're wasting the time of the team, and that's time that you can't afford to throw away. But either way, now with the tier 3 tower now down, the Wolves will be able to just chip away, just because, well, the creeps, I think on the bottom lane are close enough to deactivate backdoor protection. Yeah, the range racks are going to get chipped down eventually. It's going to take a hell of a long time just with a couple of Wolves, especially if they're not doing anything right now. But if Lycan was so inclined, they could just go for the range raxes very slowly.
Well, it's definitely boding well for LC that time is on their side at the moment. Although Ice Blast top lane only connects on creeps. Keys are already backing off at the time. 4.3k in the bank with the Boots of Travels. Definitely I'd like to see Basher and the Abyssal Skanks get stunned up. Will they follow up properly? Never mind. Viper Struck from Mother comes out, who still hasn't gotten a single item pickup after the Aghanim Scepter and BKB were finished. Oh god, man. At least Relax getting something done, but going for the Talisman of Evasion instead, so I guess it's gonna be that Heaven's Halberd. Not the worst of items, of course, but well, Brave King almost 6 slotted. More or less the only upgrade will be the Abyssal Blade.
And LC, they're going to pipe, but they're going to absorb much of the Echo Slam with it. Lolic taking quite a bit of damage. Relax taking most of the focus away from the Witch Doctor ultimate for the rest of the team so that they could actually peel off, but they're not going to get much done with it. Relax the Viper is going to take a flawless. Relax charges forward for Limbo. In the meantime, Lycan is killing off the Raxes while the rest of the team serves 100% as distraction. In fact, that's Mega Creeps right now. Relax, does he have buyback? He does. And Viper does not. So now Duza are facing down Mega Creeps. It was a difficult play to make, LC, sacrificing a whole bunch of heroes in order to take the Raxes. But that is something that Lycan can do in the blink of an eye, and that he has done. Duza, they're holding pretty well against the Super Creeps. I don't know if they could hold against Super Creeps, or Mega Creeps, and LC's split pushing. That seems like just a little bit too much, especially without their Witch Doctor being alive right now. They don't have any substantial chance at making a huge Doom push over in the mid lane. LC, I think they might have just won this game, although it's still going to be very, very close. They have to make sure that they have buybacks. If they buy out, if they spend all their gold and they don't have buybacks, then that's probably Duza's best chance at coming back into this game, facing down Mega Creeps.
Yeah, it's just at the moment, as you can see, Oleg, although he's pretty damn farmed in the Razor, fighting super-sized Mega Creeps just takes way too long for him, just because he has to go one by one. Whereas Brave King, oh, he's gonna get stunned up, he cannot lose his life here. Swap onto the wrong hero, maybe. Kaiser, he got swapped a little bit closer. Does he have the Basher now? He does, but he's not gonna get lucky enough to get the Bashes. Oh man. And, well, he got the bash straight after the TP went out and he hit the creep.
And that's just the way it works sometimes. The game is punishing him for picking up a late basher. It's like, oh, you picked it up too late, you don't even get the effects now. But at the very least for LC, no one died. And that's really the bare minimum right now for winning this game. Duza, they're all grouped up on the bottom lane, but they're being stalked by wolves, which will very soon take a fall, most of them at least. Or I guess half of them, that's not most of them. So Duza, they are actually going to try to win this up against Mega Creeps. To do this, you need AoE. The Mjolnir is a great pickup on the Wraith King in order to deal with that. The Razor should consider going for one of those as well, but everyone else on Duza, they're not good at clearing out these creeps. Lolik can do it once with his Echo Slam, but you don't want to be doing that. So Mjolnir on the Razor, maybe they could hold out against Mega Creeps, but all I see is, you know, a giant creep wave up on top and LC positioning down towards bottom. They need a lot more heroes that can clear if they actually want to get out into the enemy side of the map. Again, it's Duza not losing, but they're not going to win with this situation either.
Well, I definitely think LC, they have this game in the bag, unless what you previously mentioned happens, when they just kind of spend all their money and maybe lose their lives. I just think if Duza can somehow make LC buy up without having buybacks and make LC group up, maybe not group up entirely, but try to come for the Ancient or Tier 4s and then get the Echo Slam while there's like a massive creep wave there at the same time. But that's just way too much to happen, or at least LC, they should be good enough of a team to not do exactly that.
I guess Mega Creeps kind of do make the Earthshaker ultimate stronger just because they survive longer, so you have more creeps to Echo Slam. But so far, LC, they haven't really had the best positioning in the game as far as avoiding the bouncing Witch Doctor ultimate, avoiding the Ice Blast, and avoiding the ultimate from the Shaker. But I mean, as long as they don't sit in their Mega Creeps, and that's something that you should never do, guys, by the way, don't sit in your Creep Wave against an Earthshaker, not a good idea, then they should be fine up against that. And LC, they're still in no rush. They know that with this status quo, there's no way that Duza can actually convincingly leave their base and get any objectives, so LC, they have all the time to farm up, and as you said, if all three of their cores get really big, then it's right back into their favor this game, and with an Aegis and Cheese that they could very easily take, it shouldn't be too hard for LC just to stall out and eventually make that final push. Make sure they have buyback, though. If LC don't have buyback, then that could be very bad.
Well, even if they don't have buyback, what are the odds that Duza manage to push out the lanes well within, like, I guess 80 seconds is a pretty long time, but Duza would have to go for straight off Ancient GG because they still have 2 towers standing on the safe lane, or on their own safe lane, that is the bottom lane. So would the timing of LC's deaths, even without buybacks, be enough for Duza to end the game entirely?
They would have to be like staggered, and like if LC get into one of those, you know, states of minds where they're like, okay, I'm just gonna respawn and go fight the enemy. If they go in one at a time, that's probably like the best shot that Duza have. There's a lot of things that have to go wrong for LC and have to go right for Duza if they actually want to win this game, and these are very easily avoidable things as long as LC don't get careless in order to win. But yeah, if they get a complete team wipe, if Duza take a 5-for-0 trade, and if they're able to push in, LC, they'll have buybacks first of all, but even if they don't, then some heroes being alive with Mega Creeps racing on the side lanes, it'll be really hard for Duza to win that race, even if all of their heroes are there right-clicking away.
Yeah, I think for Duza, the chances definitely are slim, and mostly because even if they win a fight, they're still going to have to leave like 1, maybe even 2 heroes behind in the base, which means they're only going to have 3 heroes to try to go for the counter GG. Otherwise, the supersized Mega Creeps will just kill their base, kill the Ancient, I think. So life is hard if you're Duza at the moment, but LC, they're definitely not making the move. I guess the next Aegis will, or next Aegis plus Cheese will be what we're waiting for. Although Oleg, no Abyssal Blade to lock him down. Ice Blast will fly and even connect onto both of them. But Duza in return can't just follow up. And they're losing their base slowly but surely.
Not the effigies. Not the effigies. Siege creeps doing work. Couple of melee creeps getting into the tier 4 towers. And LC putting themselves in a position where if they get a kill, they win the game, but if they lose the heroes, then they don't necessarily lose the game, so that's a good combination right there. The Roshan is going to be a rather long timer. LC, they're really in no rush right now. It's, of course, kind of disheartening to have Mega Creeps and then have to wait so long for Roshan to respond to actually have a chance of landing that Alpha Strike, but LC, once the Roshan comes up, there's no way that Duza can contest this. If they leave their base, then their base will die to creeps. So it's pretty much a guaranteed Aegis and Cheese now from LC. And Viper actually has another item. Oh my god, Boots Travels in 2500. Maybe we'll see an MKB from Adra. Maybe.
Oh, that's still so long away, man. Especially since it's actually rather hard to farm when the enemy, or when you yourself have supersized Mega Creeps, just because no creeps will reach a place where you can safely farm, so it's only jungle and agents for them. Yes, they can use the enemy agents and the enemy jungle as well, but still a little bit hard. But I want to ask you, do you also see near the gyrocopter effigy in the Radiant base a little like air thingy? It's like a bullet or something is flying, but there's no bullet, but the force around it is there?
No.
You don't see it, so it's only me.
Yeah.
What the hell,
like
man?
a bullet from the gyrocopter, right?
No, not entirely. It's behind the gyrocopter a little bit.
Yeah, I don't see anything here. You're crazy.
Oh, I'm gonna freaking screenshot this, man.
Okay, well, Captain Love's gonna get swapped in. That's Ancient Apparition down and out. That's a mega kill, actually. I don't know how Captain Love managed to survive through all of that, but a very easy kill from LC, smoking into the enemy base, and they assassinate a very high priority target. That's someone who's usually going to have to be in the back. LC don't really want to capitalize off of this too much. I think at this point they should know that Ancient Apparition doesn't have a buyback. If he did, he would have used it. And Roshan is up, so now Duza, they don't need the Ice Blast to know that the Roshan is being cleared out by LC, but they are really going to wish that they had an Ancient Apparition by the time LC come knocking on the front door. Buyback status, Lycan actually doesn't have his, although I think if he kills the Roshan, then he should have it. Abaddon's just short, and well, the Bristleback has his, the Viper has his as well, and now the Lycan has, oh wait, 2 golds? What the hell's going on? It still says he doesn't have it, although it's not changing anytime soon. I think it's just not updating. Lycan should have his buyback right now.
I mean, sometimes that's just what happens. Things bug out and whatnot. But this game, I think the mega creeps happened 7 minutes ago, maybe 6, something along those lines. But Duza, they're hanging on, but that's all they're really doing. They haven't lost any effigies for some time now, but that's not to say that things are good for them. So I don't know. The plan is just hold on, hope for LC to make a mistake, but LC, they don't feel in a mood to just go and pro the game.
They don't really seem to be in a mood to do anything. Like, they're just farming everywhere.
They're practicing PvE, man.
Yeah, for when the new Dota patch comes out, it's just an MMO. Go collect 5 Ironwood branches for me and bring them back.
Oh man, that...
You'll have people all over asking, how do I get wood? Those are the days.
Oh god, that would be rather silly to be honest, probably, but at the moment LC just massing up gold. The only one to not have buyback on the dire side is the Abaddon so far. How many booster travels do we have on their side? It is 3.
Oh,
Relax,
bottom.
still lacking them as well.
Madra's going to get jumped and killed off. Someone's teleporting in. That's Spartan and Skanks. That's not the right hero to deal with Manager now. The Lycan, he is. Lawless gonna jump right in with that Echo Slam. Keyser gets his BKB off, however, a little bit too late. He's going to try to focus down this Earthshaker, though Shiva's Guard making it a little bit difficult to do so. Spartan, with the pipe up, is going to try to disengage. Here comes the last hero that's alive for LC. It's Relax. He has an Abyssal Blade of his own, but a nice wall off. Not going to work out, though. Skank's going to get the swap out, and Manager already has used his Reincarnation. He's going to take a fall. He does have a buyback. Everyone does. And LC, they lose the Viper there, but they kill off the Wraith King, and they will force out this buyback. In the meantime, most of the buildings now down for Duza. The Gyrocopter effigy has taken a fall, guys. And LC, they have an Aegis still on Relax. They're going to go for it. The buyback status on the heroes that are down here, Abaddon, no, but everyone else, yes. So even if things go really, really bad here, and I don't really see it going that poorly without having to deal with an Echo Slam, then they'll not lose the game off of this. And Oleg, he's going to jump forward first. He has a Refresh Orb, but he's going to get disarmed first of all. Lolic going to jump in to stun up Relax, but that's going to next to nothing. Meantime, Lycan's kind of destroying everything in the base. That's the tier 4 tower down. Wolves still running rampant, and now the base is like in full breach. Lolic doesn't have an Echo Slam to clear off all this or even stand a chance of fighting, so LC, this is their chance to win the game right now. They have the Viper teleporting in. They have opportunities and opportunities here with so many Mega Creeps. But Manager's clearing out most of them. Like, this guy's taking no damage because he has lifesteal. He's going to jump forward to the bottom lane, actually, looking to go for the Vengeful Spirit, who will disjoint that stun. Now Manager's going to turn things around. He's going to have his Reincarnation available to him, relax and lose his Aegis first. Base still taking some serious damage right now as Madra and Kaiser are going to try to go for Captain Love, and it looks like Captain Love is dropping very low, though he will survive, albeit barely. It's going to be Kaiser trying to go for Lolic instead, though Ghost Scepters and just general movement speed. Lycan struggling to keep up with people without having his wolf form available. The base still in full breach with his Mega Creeps, and Manager now being kited by Madra. It's going to be the Abaddon to fall first. Madra taking quite a bit of damage. They're going to try to kill off the Wraith King, but it's not going to be enough. The Wraith King's going to survive, and even if he did go down, he will have his reincarnation. That's Viper and Abaddon down as Black's going to try to take out Manager. He has no buyback. That's the death of the Bristleback. He does have a buyback, and Viper's actually going to buy out to try to end this game right here, right now. The Lycan is dead as well. I think this is a bad move from LC. They're going to buy back with 2 heroes. Spartan trying to go for the throne like a champ, but he's going to get stunned up by the Basher. Force Staff to the other side. He just doesn't have enough damage to do this. Buyback status up for the VS, Lycan, and Bristleback. The Ancient is very, very close to dead, but Duza are still in this game. They have a shot, however slim it may be.
To be honest, such games are getting to the point of being absolutely mentally retarded. I don't know, man. This game, it should be over by all means, almost, but Duza, they hold on, and to be honest, really well played by them as well. They only had to use buybacks in 2 heroes, while Wraith King used it a little bit earlier already. Ancient Operation 1 as well, but they're holding on, and Manager, look at him, he's actually gonna go to the counterattack for a little while at least. And I'm not too sure if LC are actually unable to properly fight, or I feel like maybe if Lycan had come in as a full 5, especially the Ice Blast was used, which completely mistented anybody. I think that should have been LC's just time to go 5-man, go for the Ancient as 5. But they had Lycan just split pushing, and while the rest of the LC finally went for the Ancient as well, Lycan didn't have the ultimate anymore, for example. So I just think LC at one point they should have had enough gold where they can just win a fight and then go for Ancients, rather than just try to full on go for Ancient and just get wiped.
Coucherman, the Doctor is in. Manager picked up the Rapier, and LC, they're all going to be up and ready for this. But there's also double damage rune on the bottom river, so that could certainly put the pain to LC. But I have a feeling that if LC win this game, it's going to be because Lycan just is ignored and then he just backdoors the throne just for a couple seconds. I have that feeling. But Duza, the Razor's leading the charge over in mid. Manager's right behind them. They both have their travels available. Venge is right here, though. He can cancel both. And yes, he will cancel Oleg's first. No, he'll instead cancel Manager's TP back. No Wraith King for this fight. And LC, they're going to charge forward. Just dive the throne right now, and that's going to be it. That is how you win a game, although it could have gone that way my god, even if the Wraith King was able to teleport back. That's it. It took a hell of a long time, but London Conspiracy come out with the game.
Man, silly game, but LC, they win in the end, so we're gonna see. This is a best of 3 after all, that if LC can win this 2-0, or will Duza actually come back after this, because this one was pretty damn even after all.
Alright guys, so this is a best of 3 as he said, so we will be right back with game number 2. I'm Mike Loris, I've been joined by Coucher. Don't go anywhere, game 2 is coming up.